far as the project itself goes, this has been a great partnership with our design team that we use for this. It's called PGAV. And so PGAV is the main design firm out of St. Louis. And we work closely with our main contractor is PCL, right? You know, they're a local team, same folks that have done a lot of other projects in the area. And then most of you from Orlando are very familiar with NASA. NASA is some of the best and the most talented rock work and sort of, you could say, environment creators anywhere in the world. They've been known to do projects everywhere. Most recently, that little place with the guy that rides the broom down the street over here, they did a lot of the work over there, and we are so proud to have them on this project. I think if you look through it today, you're just going to be blown away by some of the details. And even the closest one here, the brown vine that you see right behind me, 3 days ago was a piece of metal railing. So that is now a handrail, but it's done Maslow style and really done nicely. So. Our water quality team, you wouldn't think a group of people that scrub pools every night would be so influential and so excited about a project. They're extremely excited about this, and it's because of what's right in front of me. This is a coral head. It's an artificial coral head, but it's more than that. In our world, it's a floating coral head. And that might sound a little bit weird, but as you can imagine, when a coral head's in the bottom of a pool, it makes it kind of tough to keep it up and maintaining it, making it look so perfect and pristine. What we've added here, you can see if you look along the sides here, you'll see kind of hidden away and tucked in here, we've got a couple key slots along the bottom. So there's a couple areas that you actually pull pins out of it. And then there's also a couple of air valves on here. So you're probably looking at, why does a coral head need air valves? How these heads will work, we'll actually put them into the pool, float them over to the area that we want to put them in, and then turn the air valve, sink them down onto a base that's mounted in the bottom of the reef, pin them into the side, and then they'll sit there. And then a few days later, or a week later or so, when we want to move that coral head out to clean it, we'll float another one out right next to it. We'll inflate this one, it'll float away. We'll put the next one into place, and our divers are the happiest people in the world. So our divers are so proud of these things.
Yes, they are.
Can't say enough good things about them.
Are they all that size module, basically?
No, this is one of the larger ones. We have them very large, we have them very small. The really, really neat thing about the reef in general, as you're looking behind me, there's larger areas at the start of the reef here that are going to be shallower water. And that was something that our guests have told us for years that they really wanted. They wanted a way to experience the reef without having to get in. If you were not an experienced swimmer or a good swimmer, you could get up to about here and then you were kind of peering over and watching your friends and family go off. The way we built this reef is you'll be able to go out into shallower areas and experience the reef. And as you see, the deeper parts actually cut back in. So we've got some grottos that cut into the shallower areas, so you'll be able to look over the side. Now we made a couple of coral heads, so they're actually a shallower, depth on the coral, I guess you would say, so that as they lay in here, the profile doesn't stick up above the water. So if a child or maybe somebody who's not so comfortable swimming wants to experience fish in the coral head, they'll be able to come right up and kind of kneel next to it and see fish. Actually, if you look over here, you'll see one of those valves I was talking about. It's tucked in. Any other questions on our corals? Great, Susan, do you want to go this way?
I just kind of wanted to point out, again, like Stu was saying, we designed this.
Where you're standing right now, you'll actually be standing on a sand berm. So there'll be sand under your feet. There'll be chairs up behind you here, and people kind of sitting in this area. And as you go down in, the water will come up just around the sides of these rocks, and that'll lead into these shallower zones over here. So as you look around the reef right here, you're going to notice on this side, you probably did notice it as you came across, there's a pathway. That pathway will actually go all the way around the reef, around the back side of the reef, back over, it'll cross over one of the bridges over here, then back over the other bridge, and then back around the other side of the reef. The reason we put that in there, we wanted to make sure that guests, it was accessible for all guests, so that if a guest, for example, maybe didn't want to get wet that day, or somebody in a wheelchair or what have you that didn't want to necessarily swim, they can actually go around the outside and experience some of the reef with their family. So their family will be right there, they're here. In our other reef that we had for years, that was a little tougher from the side, so far away. The other issue, or the other area along the back side, you're not really seeing it. All the acrylic pieces today are still covered with a paper on the front of them. We have 3 areas in the new reef that are inside of acrylic. We have one that you can see right from here, in the far end there, and that one has actually eels inside of there. So we didn't want to put the eels in the rest of the reef to scare everybody out of the reef, so we put them in there. The area right behind me here, and any of you that want to talk more about that, Shannon can tell you the awesome message that this exhibit will hold. It's going to have lionfish in it. but not just any lionfish. It's lionfish. If any of you know the story about lionfish, they're an invasive species now. We've actually worked with some areas that are removing those invasive species, and we've been able to bring some of those animals here. So it's going to carry a great message for people that, you know, the lionfish that are along the coast didn't come from anywhere else except for us, right? It was people all up and down the coast having lionfish go out. So it's going to carry a really nice message. And the area kind of behind there, you can't really see it from here today. It's our shark area. It's going to be very similar to what we've done in other areas. The difference this time, you'll be able to wade up to the shark area on one side, swim up to it on another side, and then finally do the SeaVenture walk with the helmet on this side. And that kind of leads me to the final part. It's going to look a lot different when you come back when it's open here, because we have a couple of buildings over where those cranes are operating right now, and those lifts are operating. And actually, you can start to see where the staircases are taking form right back here. We'll have guests will enter down the staircase, have the helmets on them, and people like Jason and Shannon will be down there guiding the guests along. And then we'll take small groups of guests in the helmets where they'll be able to walk along the trail. So the trail is going to be awesome. It's got a handrail next to it, very similar to the other ones over here. So you're steady on your feet. It's soft sand below your feet. You'll be able to walk around and really get that sensation of being a scuba diver without having to do dive surfing. What you're standing next to right here is actually one of those bases, and we're in the process right now. Those haven't been placed yet. You know, it's almost like a little bit of an art project coming in here. Once we're getting them all in, we're going to start scattering them out, and then we'll work with the final design team to come in and place them in the exact perfect places so we can set those coral heads down. So again, the idea is that you'll be able to walk around them, or swim up to them, or swim around them. The area behind me here, you see that, again, this will be that SeaVenture. So the dock area, you see where we kind of created this dock feel, and it's not all the way finished yet, but as you walk out on top of that, that's where the lionfish will be housed. And then it's going to have the look, again, you got to remember, you're now standing with water right at about chest level here, so your water is going to be going across. And where those pilings are sticking up, it's going to look like where an old dock has broken off, and those pilings have been created in there. And again, those were all just created. They, 3 months ago, those were just, concrete posts, and then our NASA team and others came in and just made them look great. So that's going to kind of divide this area of the reef, the regular general swimming area, from the SeaVenture. And then we'll have a couple of guards placed in here, and the SeaVenture people, I don't know if you're actually getting an idea of it, where that ladder comes down, there's actually a rock wall that's in the center of that area. And basically, you'll walk around the trail that we've designed in there. But along the way in the trail, you'll be able to look in, you'll be able to look into the shark area. You can kind of see it from here. It's a huge window down there.
I do think that the shallow experience, I think that that's probably the most critical. We found a way to make, I think, what was already a very immersive experience in our existing reef, and to make this a completely different and even more immersive experience. It doesn't matter whether you can swim or what your skill level is, you're going to have an ability to either wade or walk dry or swim to about any point within this reef here. And I think that's something that's very important, so that all family members can enjoy their experiences together. From this particular site, we're looking at about 2.5 acres of developed area for this project. The facility itself is going to be a little over 1 million gallons of water. A closely guarded secret in how we make that water up, but we'll also be incorporating approximately about 10,000 different fish, most of which will be coming from our existing reef area, and as Stuart mentioned, some sentinel species that are specific for messaging here in the local area, specifically the lionfish. I think that's a wonderful story, and we're going to get an opportunity to talk to guests on how irresponsible pet ownership can affect their environment around them. So we're trying to really make sure that we have a point of communication with our guests there.